Okay, you guys, next story up. Tyrese versus DJ Envy and his wife Gia. DJ Envy, mama named him Rashawn Casey. Okay, and Gia Casey. Now, you guys know Tyrese is, he's so tiring. And he is always on social media, and he has wore our last nerve out, and we still have to deal with Tyrese. He's just always been one of those special kind of Capricorn men. I hate to admit that this nigga's a Capricorn, y'all, but Capricorn men a little different than Capricorn women. You know, Capricorn, they still my brothers though. But okay, so anyway, Tyrese was on the Breakfast Club recently, and apparently they had a sit down talk about the relationship, or the failed relationship, that Tyrese and DJ Envy now have with each other. Now, apparently Tyrese and DJ Envy were really close at one time, so close that when DJ Envy was having marital problems with his wife Gia, and they were threatening to get a divorce, Tyrese actually stepped in and helped them through that. Okay, I don't know what he did. I don't know how another person is able to save your marriage, but maybe he just was there to talk to them, to counsel them, to give his experiences, to just be that shoulder that both of them must have needed. Okay, and it worked. They were able to work it out. They have 5 kids now. They seem to be very happy and settled in their lives. Okay, but after their marriage was repaired, then their friendship with Tyrese quickly dissolved, and now they're not friends any longer. So Tyrese being on the show, they were discussing what happened, and basically, to make a long story short, DJ Envy and his wife felt that Tyrese was crossing lines, was inappropriate, was demanding to the wife. Okay, now I don't know where the signs and the signals got crisscrossed, but apparently Tyrese started to believe that Gia owed him more than what just a regular friend would get. So but we didn't know all of this. We just knew that they had fallen out, that they had kind of stopped talking to Tyrese. This is what they discussed when the Breakfast Club was going on. DJ Envy told him that, you know, he had just said some inappropriate things and sent some inappropriate texts to his wife and all of that, and they just decided that they needed to take, you know, that they needed to take a step back. Tyrese was confused. Okay, he also said that, you guys know that I have some mental health issues, and we had already seen him on a interview with Sway. Remember, he was with Sway, and he talked about how when he was completely out of his mind, when he was having he was really having like a mental health breakdown, and they had gave him this medication that had him just crazy, and he was saying and doing things that he wouldn't normally say and do. He was lying about a lot of stuff. He didn't even realize it, that he just wasn't sleeping, he wasn't eating, he was just, it sounded like just the highest level of anxiety that you can have. When he was going through that, this might have been around the time that Gia and DJ Envy kind of got caught up in all of that unhealthiness as well. Okay, so he was just trying to say, like, you know, I've had some issues, some struggles, some things that have happened, you know, but he still didn't feel like it was anything, he had done anything to really mess up their friendship. But yet and still, here we are. So DJ Envy and Tyrese are no longer friends. And, you know, DJ Envy had even told him that he had been said and did so much shit that Envy felt like he needed to box his mouth. I was just like, box his mouth? Who says these type of things? You can tell that you don't fight when you niggas say box his mouth. You know, it should be like, I'd have fucked you up. Okay, but I guess he couldn't say that on the radio. But it still was an interesting choice of words, you know. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, after the Tyrese goes off the show, Tyrese goes home, and oh, he is so upset about it. You know, he's crying on camera, which is, you know, this is regular Tyrese fare. This is what he does. He was crying. He said that he came home. He wanted to, you know, see what they were talking about. He looked at his text messages and he didn't think that there were anything inappropriate that he said. What in bottom line, it sounds like, you guys, is that Tyrese became a little obsessed with Gia and Envy, but maybe more so Gia. Okay, but he would look like it got to the point where he was so concerned about their marriage that he wasn't even thinking about the shit that he had going on his side. Because he even said, when he got back home, he said that, no, I think he actually said this on Breakfast Club, how he had told Envy that he was coming to New York and that he wanted to sit down and talk to them because he had some interviews and he had some other business that he had to take care of. And he told Envy that was a lie. He said, I only came just so I could see you guys, you know? And it's just sort of like, when you start lying about shit that you ain't even got to lie about, yeah, something's wrong there, you know? So you lying about going out there just so you can see Gia and Envy? And are you really just trying to see Gia? Like, it's weird. It's weird. So then, after he had did that and showed his receipts or whatever, the next day Envy had Gia on the show. She had called in or whatever. And they were talking. And she said that she didn't feel comfortable saying exactly what he said. But she did feel uncomfortable because he was very demanding of her time. Like, I just imagine him being like, well, when I call you, answer the phone. Okay? Or where y'all been? Like, what? I told you that, you know, I told you I was doing this and why you ain't called it? You know, I could see him being like that, you know? So she said that he had just got to the point where it was ridiculous and both her and Envy had agreed that they needed to take a step back. Okay? That it was too much. But yeah. I can 100% believe Envy and Gia when they say that Tyrese was doing too much because he's teamed too much. He is the epitome of too much. Okay, so yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Okay, I don't know. We don't like to joke. I don't like to joke about mental health. And if anybody out there, and I mean this very sincerely, if there's anybody out there that really, first of all, we all could benefit from sitting down with somebody every now and again. Okay, so I'm not excluding myself from this, but what I'm saying is Tyrese definitely needs help in a lot of it. See, Tyrese shows us that there can be people that are successful, that are talented, and still have severe mental health struggles, okay? Like, all of that can exist together. So you've got people that are extremely successful out there that really got a lot of problems, okay? So and Tyrese, he needs to, I know Fast and Furious is about to wrap up. I think they got two more movies that are going to be coming out, but somebody need to sit down with Tyrese and get the boy's head right, because it ain't been right for a long time. All right, he ain't been right since he broke up with that first wife. Tyrese needs some help, y'all. If y'all know anybody out there that can get to the boy and get him some help that's needed, please do so. But yeah, I believe Envy, and y'all know I don't like Envy. So for me to be co-signing with him and his wife, child, yeah, that Tyrese is special. Bless his heart.
You keep it natural, stay in your bag like you wearing.
All right, guys, next story up. So Danny Masterson. Now, first of all, let me just tell you guys, I ain't never watched a 70s show. I mean, I ain't never watched one episode of it. I know who was on there. I know it was Ashton Kutcher. I know it was his wife Mila. They weren't married, of course, at that time, because this was 10, 15 years ago, and they were very young back then. So, I know that Wilmer Valderrama was on there. Like, I know the people, but I ain't never watched the show. And I did not know who this guy was. Okay, but apparently he was on the show with them. And back in 2001 through 2003, there were 3 women that came forward and said that he had raped them. They didn't come forward back then. They waited, some years to finally come out, but they did say that he raped them in his Hollywood home One of those girls was actually his girlfriend at the time, but you know, she still said that he raped her. He was convicted for it. Okay, convicted for rape, and he was actually just sentenced. So the jury didn't agree on him raping the girlfriend at the time, but they did agree on convicting him on all of the charges. Now, there were 3 women, so they convicted him for raping 2 women, okay? They're both Jane Does. We don't know what their names are, but when they were in court, you know, they did say that he ruined their life. And one woman said that every time she felt like she was getting her life back on track, it would be something that would remind her or something that would trigger her, and then it would just be a big ass setback again. So they feel like their lives was ruined from this rape. I would imagine so. That is something extremely traumatizing for a woman to be, you know, abused sexually like that. So yeah, they said that their lives have been ruined, and the jury and the judge, everybody listened to them, and 30 years, okay? 15 years for each woman. And they didn't, like I said, they didn't charge him for that third girl, because then he would have got 45 years. But 30 years, and this man has got to be at least in his early 40s, late 30s, early 40s. He gonna live the rest of his adult life in jail, okay? Unless he can get out on good behavior and everything, but he gonna be there for a minute. And good for him, because we don't have no sympathy for rapists over here. So I don't give a fuck. We don't have the patience for that kind of acting. We don't have no sympathy for it. Hopefully he can get his ass in jail and get some rehabilitation and all. But yeah, I mean, you out here raping women and shit. No, we don't feel sorry for you. Now, there was a lot of folks that did write in to the judge, including Ashton and Mila. They got a lot of threats behind that, death threats and everything, to the point where they had to come out and address it, you know. And I mean, to me, I don't have a problem with them, right? That's their friend, all right? So they have a friend, they know their friend did wrong or whatever, but you know, they still can speak to the character of that friend as they knew it. So I mean, you can write a note all you want. That doesn't make me look at Ashton and Mila any differently, but I'm glad that the judge did what they did still, you know, even with the letters that are written and stuff. Sometimes I think that those letters is just for show, because I feel like the judge will have it in their mind already of what they gonna do. Go on and let y'all do this little, you know, come up here and testify and talk about how great this rapist was, you know. But I think that the judge still usually have it in their mind what they're going to do, unless the victims actually come out and say. The victim, I think, is the only person that can kind of sway the judgment of the judge, and possibly, maybe, you know, because if the victim said something along the lines of, you know, I forgive him, I know that he was this, that, and the other, you know, then that might have some bearing on how the judge sentences somebody. But other than that, no. we don't feel sorry. You rape somebody, you know, you do that bad shit, then your ass go to jail, stay in jail. We ain't worried about it. Y'all, next story.
Hey, baby, you a godsend, just missing the sandals. But still, you ain't missing much. Put your hands up.
I'm so nosy. I want to go around there and see what happened with my neighbor. There's a whole bunch of cars over there. It ain't time for me to walk blue, but I'm about to put his ass on a leash when I finish this. We gonna go be nosy. Next story: Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. Now, they've been in the blogs in the past about Iman possibly cheating on Teyana. You guys remember there was a TikTok vlogger who had viral videos that talked about, she did blind items, and she was saying about this couple that everybody liked and all of this, but you know, the guy was cheating and about driving the girl crazy because she was like head over heels, like obsessed and loved with him. And you know, the fact that he's cheating, she can't even imagine her life without him. And then he's out there cheating and all this. It had then drove her to drugs, and that she had overdosed and was in the hospital and had to cancel a concert and all of that. And so people started to say that the blind item was Tayana and Iman. Well, they did come out after that, or at least she did come out after that and said that it wasn't true, that it was some old assistant of hers that had sold this story or had fed this story to this TikToker, and that it wasn't true. So they buried that story, or they denied it, and it kind of went away. But again, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And so now we've got a new story coming out with Iman. There is a young lady that showed up on social media, and it was a dark setting, it looked like it was vibey, it looked like she was kind of laid back on something. She had on the chain that we normally see him wearing, and she ain't said nothing like my man or nothing, but it just kind of insinuated that she was with Iman and that the chain and all of that. So she posted it, and you can't tell me that heifer ain't knew that people was going to put two and two together or jump to conclusions, one or the other, about this relationship with Iman. So when that video came out, everybody started to assume that this was one of his side chicks that had then got a battery in her back and decided to blast to the world that she's fucking Iman, right? Saying it without saying it. And so she put that video out, and of course the social media ran with it. Then a day or two later, she come out saying, oh, that's not true, and she ain't having no affair with this man, that he has a label, and she's an artist, and she's one of his artists, and she had on that chain because he gives all of his artists that he represents the chain, that's part of his label. They all have it, blah 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 blah. And that made me roll my eyes, because while all that might be very true, I was about to call her a bitch. Let me not say the bitch, but the heifer had to know what it was going to look like. Like, to me, that's stunts and shows. If you truly 100% are not having an affair with this man, then why would you put a video out that looks like that? You wanted people to say something about it so that you can come out and debunk it or whatever. Either that, or you was feeling away and was like, I'm about to blast it, I'm with Iman. And then when it came out and they was pissed, like, bitch, why would you do something like that? And she probably was like, well, I didn't say nothing. And they was like, stupid ass, you still put the video out. What'd you think? So then she had to come out and deny it. But yeah, girl, this man is fully married and you wearing his jewelry. Now, do you think that is normal? That people who see that would think that, oh, this was just... Nobody is thinking of Iman as a head of a label, So you was being messy, or you was trying to be slick and the shit backfired on you. All right? Either way it go, I don't like it. I don't like none of that shit. If you gonna be a side woman, then shut your mouth. Get your benefits and live your life over there. You're not the main. So I need these side women who, I don't know, the side women used to know their place back in the day, y'all. These new side women ain't even worth having no more. Because they will blow your spot up. Like, you used to be able to cheat in peace back in the day. You can't do that shit no more. Because the women now want to tell. So now y'all tell me what y'all think. Do you guys believe that something is going on with Iman and Tayana? I can tell you what. That girl loved her Iman to death. I don't know what would happen if her and Iman were not together. It would not be good for Tayana. I don't think that she will do well. Because she loves him. So I hope he's not out there doing that, but what y'all think? Y'all think Iman is out there laying it low and spreading it wide? Wouldn't be the first, won't be the last, y'all. Y'all let me know what you think.
On my back, just a different touch. Put your ass on my plate, I don't skip the lunch. I don't skip the brunch, not the dinner neither. And we had the close.
Kevin Porter Jr., okay, played for the Houston Rockets. He was arrested for attacking his girlfriend. She was a former WNBA player. Her name is Kasir Gondrazic. Child, don't let me mess up these names, okay? Apparently they were in New York City. They were staying in a hotel, and the Millennium Hotel. the Millennium Hilton. And apparently they had a fight there. By the time that the police came down, she had a cut, they said, somewhere on her head, in her eye area. And they said that she had ran out of their hotel room into the lobby and she was covered in blood. And that is how the police were ended up called into this. By the time the police got there, they ended up arresting him, and they charged him with assault, and they also charged him with strangulation. Okay, strangulation and assault charges. They said that she said that he hit her in her eyes so many times that, you know, she'd been blacked out, and that's why she had blood all over her face, and she had a cut over her head. And then they said that also that she had blacked out because he had strangled her so tight that he ended up fracturing her vertebrae that goes right up into her neck. Now you know this nigga is really holding on to this girl for him to actually damn near break her neck. So this was a bad fight. I mean, none of the fights are good when you have a man and a woman fighting physically like that, but this was like he could have killed that girl. So they did arrest him. He pled not guilty to assault and strangulation. I don't know how he gonna think he gonna get away with that, because I mean, this girl's vertebrae is fractured. He has a history of abuse with this woman. They said back in November of 2020, he was found with a gun in his vehicle. Apparently he had been rammed the girlfriend's car. They had like they was out somewhere and they got into it. So he rammed her car and all of that. So that has happened. The gun charge was dropped because he said that he didn't know it was in his vehicle. It was a gun and marijuana, but the gun charge was dropped. This case is due to be back in court on October 16th. And as of now, the Houston Rockets say they're just investigating. So he hasn't been put off of the team, but I'm pretty sure that he will be, because these are kind of violent. These charges are violent. We need to put Kevin Porter Jr. in somebody's fucking anger management class. I'm a warn all the women out there, you know, I know you're a basketball player and all, but maybe we need to stay away from him, because brother man cannot control himself. So yeah, you guys, that's what's going on. Kevin Porter Jr. over there breaking bitches' necks, literally.
Not a centimeter, getting in between this. Are you too turned up? Never turned down though when it's big energy.
All right, you guys, next story up, Kevin Hunter. So Kevin Hunter got a victory in court the other day. You guys know he's been trying to sue RoxanneMarkham. That is the production company that put on the Wendy Williams show from 2007 to 2019. Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter both was hired on after a six episode kind of trial. Once they saw that the show was going to do well, they signed them on and they gave them quality talk show for those years, 12 years. All right. And the talk show was still doing very well, even though we started to see some little kinks in the armor. Remember, I mean, Wendy Williams was passing out on camera, and they, you know, real bad drinking problems sometimes would be on the air. Seemed like she was drunk, and, you know, so it was a lot of things that was happening. And then we realized that the marriage was falling apart, that Kevin Hunter was in I wouldn't even call it an affair at this point. He had a whole nother life with another woman. I mean, a baby, a house, like all of this over here. And then he also had his life with Wendy Williams. You know, depending on who you ask, Wendy knew about it and dealt with it, but always told him that the deal breaker was if he had another baby. Okay. And he did have another baby, so that was the deal breaker. They ended up breaking up. Well, RoxanneMarkham ended up firing him on the spot when the marriage fell apart, but he is maintaining that they should not have done that, because that is his job. He was one of the producers on the show. He created the show with Wendy Williams. He did a lot for the show, marketing. I mean, Wendy Williams had even said that he was very instrumental on the success of that show. So when they broke up, they just automatically fired him because it was going to be a strange situation to have him there with Wendy when they were going through what they were going through. Okay, but maybe they should have handled it differently. Instead of firing him, maybe they could have gave him a severance package. Maybe, you know, they could have did something differently, but they didn't. So they fired him. He had a $10 million lawsuit that he was trying to that he ended up bringing about, but only after his spousal support fell apart. So you guys know that Wendy Williams, they ended up taking control of her finances. So when that happened, when they got a trustee for her accounts, then that meant that they weren't paying him any longer because Wendy Williams is no longer working. So their contract stipulated that if she doesn't have any income, then she doesn't have to pay spousal support. So the show is gone. She ain't got no income. No more spousal support. So when that happened, he was like, damn it, I need some fucking money, because apparently him and the girl that he broke up with his wife for, they are no longer together. He has a child with her. They had a house together. I think that she ended up moving. They say the rumor is that she moved back home to South Carolina with her family or whatever and the baby, and now he ain't got no money. He don't have no income. He can't pay his credit card bills. He can't pay his insurance. He can't pay his mortgage. He got all of this shit. So he is like, no. Now he is suing the production company, and the production company was trying to get the case dismissed. They had went to the courts and asked them to dismiss his case, said it was without merit, and the judge disagreed. And so the judge said, no, this case can go forward because maybe you guys did unrightfully fire him. You guys, now that the smoke is cleared and we sitting and looking at this shit, you know, for what it is, yes, you know, we had love for Wendy Williams because he did her wrong and all of that. But you guys, if we was going to separate the personal from the business, I can totally understand where this man is coming from. You know, he don't have no income. He has lost everything. Yes, it was fucked up that he had the affair. He shouldn't have did that. Can't cry over spilled milk. That shit is done. It's here. Okay. But you cannot say that he did not. I mean, Wendy even said that he was instrumental, right? So that means that this man probably should not have just been fired on the spot like that. Okay, you can't just fire folks on the spot like that. So he wants his money, and if I was him, I would be trying to get this money too. Now the judge told the production company, Mercury, that you guys in your original court paperwork, you guys did not say that there was a like a drop in his performance. You never said that there was a problem with the work that he did. That means that you guys obviously were happy with what he was giving you guys. So for you guys to fire him, that might have been unrightfully so. If he was doing the job that he was being paid to do, and you guys only fired him because it was going to be uncomfortable with his ex-wife there, then no, that wasn't the right thing to do. So yeah. So Mercury, that was a mistake in their part. When they gave him his termination letter, because he gave that to the judge, when they gave him the termination letter, they didn't say anything about them being unhappy with his performance. And that's all that really matters in this case as far as the judge is concerned. So yeah, he going to court. $10 million. I don't know if he's gonna get the 10 million, but he might actually win that case, you guys. We'll see. $10 million is a lot of money. I guess my man got a lot of bills. He's like, Paul Kevin over there, just probably rethinking his whole entire life. Gots to be more careful.
Around though, so don't ever switch. No, you've been looking, won't find it like this. No, you've been looking for nigga.
Next story, you guys. 600 gallons of red wine poured down the streets in Portugal. Actually, the name of the city is Lavira, I believe. There was a wine factory, if you will, dispensary, I should say, that was in that area, and the vat, they had 2 vats that store like extra wine, because apparently there is an abundance of wine. They have too much wine, that people are not drinking wine as much. I was like, what? As much as I did when that pandemic hit? baby, we was running through that wine when the pandemic first hit. Okay, but yeah, apparently they have all this extra wine, so they had these vats that carried 300 gallons of red wine each. All right. And so apparently one of them broke, and then whatever broke off from one of them hit the other one and broke that one, and made the wine literally flow down the streets of this city. They were able to prevent it from going to like any lakes or rivers. Okay, so they did escape like an environmental disaster, you know, just having all this wine, this alcohol in their water. They were able to get the wine up. They actually said that the wine traveled through there pretty quickly. They was able to catch it. It didn't have a lasting smell in the neighborhood or whatever, because this wine was high quality wine. I said, oh, I know them people was sick. Nigga, 600 gallons of some expensive ass wine going down the street. Baby, I'd have been out there with my cup. Okay, baby, get your straw. So they said it flowed for about an hour, but you know, no harm, no foul. I mean, other than the fact that this company lost quite a bit of their inventory to the streets. But other than that, everything is all good. Okay, so all my alcoholics out there, y'all missed a good day. I bet you them motherfuckers was out there like, what?
Ahead of them curves, I'm Jimmy Johnson with this. I'm Jimmy Johnson with this. That I attest, I'm like grinding this bitch.
Guys, next story is a follow-up on your boy Jussie Smollett. You guys know that Jussie has been trying to appeal his conviction from all that shit, that case in Chicago, you know, when he falsely accused some unknown white men of jumping him in an alley. Turned out it was some Nigerian guys that he had cooked the whole scheme up with. He was sentenced to 150 days in jail. So the way that it happened was that he was supposedly jumped, right? So we had this outpouring of love to Jussie. Then when we found out that he lied, they decided to charge him. All right. He's always maintained that he was innocent. They ended up dropping the charges because he had agreed that he would pay like a restitution and he would do community service and all of that. But all that ended up getting dropped when they decided to charge him again. And this time he was convicted of disorderly conduct, 5 charges of disorderly conduct. His attorneys are maintaining that that was double jeopardy. They're saying that he has been charged twice for the same crime, because he had already been through one case and then they dropped it and then they brought it back again, you know. So they're saying that this whole thing is not fair, that he shouldn't even have this 150-day jail sentence. They're trying to get that taken away. So he went to appeals court this past Tuesday, and that is what he is working on now. If the sentence is upheld, then he will eventually have to do 150 days in jail. Well, he was in jail, I believe, for 6 days before his family got him out. So he still has 144 days that he has to do. And he is trying to get that conviction thrown out. Okay, so we'll see. I can't even believe we still talking about Jussie Smollett. It seemed like it was so damn long ago. But I guess Jussie said he gonna clear his name one way or the other.
Last women I run, whatever you need. I'll try out the line with the dick. Turn on the lights, take a flick.
And then lastly, you guys, congratulations are in order to our girl Robin Roberts from Good Morning America. Robin Roberts, 62 years old, has married the love of her life and longtime girlfriend Amber Lane. Okay, 49 years old. They've been together since 2013, so about 10 years, and they dated for 8 years before they got engaged, and you know, now here we are. Robin Roberts didn't want to come out, decided to come out about her sexuality after she had had cancer. Like, I think she was just on this whole, like, I'm fixing to live my life for me kind of thing. And so, you know, she told us that's what it was. I mean, I think a lot of people had probably already assumed that, but was giving her privacy. I mean, it ain't really people's business. I don't think she was trying to hide it, but I think her and her girlfriend both, you know, it was a different time. Even 10 years ago, it was not as accepted as it is today. So, you know, they finally felt comfortable enough. I remember I was actually watching Good Morning America, because I usually watch that every morning. I was watching when she announced, she said, oh, I said yes to marriage. They were talking about a book club suggestion, the book for that month. And it was something like say yes to the something. And she said, oh, I decided to say yes to marriage. And everybody was like, what? And she was like, yeah, you know, she asked her girl to marry her. They getting married, blue. So they finally did go on and tie the knot. She looks very happy. They looked very pretty. They both had on white dresses. And good for Robin. I love Robin Roberts, you guys. Good Morning America is my daily show, and I love to see her up there, and she looks very happy. So on September 8th, before family and friends, they went on and tied the knot at their Farmington, Connecticut home. So congratulations to the happy couple.
Not the dinner neither, and we hella close, not a centimeter. Getting in between is all you two turned up. Never turned down though when there's big energy when I come around.
All right, you guys, let me get on off of here. That's Joe getting home right now. Y'all hear his music. Let me get on off of here. We do this every single week, so make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.